Hi students, today we are discussing about Davison-Germer experiment. Davison-Germer experiment. Okay, the wave nature of electrons was first experimentally found by Davison and Germer in 1927. Okay, the wave nature of electrons was experimentally found in 1927. In 1928, G.P. Thomson also found that electrons have the wave nature. Okay, electron has the particle nature, but experimentally found by the Davison and Germer G.P. Thomson, electron has wave nature also. So they are emphasizes that the de Broglie theory was correct. According to the de Broglie hypothesis, he said, every moving particle associated with wave. So theoretically, he said that every moving particle is associated with the wave. Now, electron has mass, indicates it has particle nature, but practically this electron which is in motion has the wave nature is found by the Davison and Germer. Okay, and the experimental setup for the Davison and Germer is shown in the figure. So in the experiment, they take one filament which is coated with the barium oxide. Filament coated with barium oxide. Okay, this filament is connected to a low tension battery. Low tension battery means applied voltage was very less, 6 volt to 12 volt only applied. Okay, and in the experiment, they considered one anode in the form of a cylinder. This is anode, and along its axis of anode, there is a small hole is there. Okay, filament and anode are connected by means of a high tension battery. This is high tension battery. Here positive should be connected to the anode. Positive of the battery is connected to the anode. Okay. They considered one nickel crystal as a target element. And also in the experimental setup, there is one circular scale. So this is graduated with different angles. Okay, on that there is one movable detector is there, which consisting of one galvanometer. This is movable detector called as collector. This is galvanometer. Galvanometer is a device which is used to measure the current. Okay. This entire setup is enclosed in a evacuated chamber. Okay. This is evacuated chamber. So no air will be present within this chamber. Okay. So in this experiment, we consider one filament which is connected to the low tension battery. One anode, along its axis we have a small hole, and a target is taken as the nickel crystal here, and we have one graduated circular scale which consisting of a mobile detector called collector, and it will has the galvanometer G. The entire chamber is evacuated. Okay. Now initially the battery is switched on, then current is passes through the circuit. Whenever the current is passes through the circuit, filament get heated. Whenever the filament get heated due to thermal agitation, electrons will be released from the barium oxide layer. Okay. So these electrons have very lesser value of velocity. Now, in between filament and anode, we connected one high tension battery. Anode is connected to the battery positive terminal. Na? Electrons has negative charge. So, negatively charged electrons are attracted by means of the positive charge. So, now these electrons are gets accelerated and they are entering into the anode. So here the anode is connected to the high tension battery, and here the potential is varies from 44 volt to the 68 volt. So whenever I give the potential more, automatically the electrons which are came outside from the anode have very high energy. Okay, hence in between filament and anode it is named as electron gun. From gun, with what velocity the bullet will be coming, the similar way from the anode the electrons are coming with very high velocity. Okay, so it is a fine pencil of electron, a narrow beam of electrons. So this narrow beam of electrons strikes the nickel target. Whenever it strikes the nickel target, from the atomic layers of nickel target, these electrons are scattered in all directions. Okay, now some electrons are scattered in this direction, and here we have the mobile detector now. So this mobile detector is moving on the circular scale at different angles. Okay, every time the galvanometer shows the deflection. Okay, galvanometer shows deflection. Why? Because these electrons are reaching those collector. Number of electrons reaching indicates the more number of the current or intensity of the radiation. So at a different angles if they move, they particularly found at 54 voltage and The scattering angle is phi, which is at 50 degree. Okay, these scattered electrons has more value in the galvanometer. Do you understand? Voltage is ranges from the 44 to 68. So first they put the 44, next 45, 46, 47, like that until 68 they changes. So whenever potential is changes, the electrons which are came from the electron gun will have more energy now. They strikes the target and they scattered in different directions. Now this rod movable detector is moving along a circular scale at a different angles. They done the experiment by different potentials and different angles. Finally they found one important thing: at a particular voltage of 54 voltage, a scattered angle is 50 degree. At this place, galvanometer shows the more reading. Okay, the deflection in galvanometer is always directly proportional to the intensity of scattered electrons. More deflection indicates more number of scattered electrons reaching the collector. Okay, so this will be happen particularly at 50 degree. Meaning, if you draw a graph between the scattered angle and intensity of radiation, then the graph will be coming like this. So, at a particular angle, which angle? Phi is equal to 50 degree. It has a peak value of intensity at voltage 54. Understand? So this is the experimental arrangement used by the Davison and Gerber. Clear now? So if you draw the graph between scattering angle phi and intensity of radiation, graph coming like this, and this is the maximum value or the peak value at a particular angle phi is equal to 50 degree. Okay, if the graph is drawn between the incident radiation, incident electron beam, and potential, okay, the graph will be coming in this way. So there is one bump coming at a particular voltage called 54 voltage, and angle of bump was phi is equal to 50 degree. So this is the graph between the potential and incident beam. Here the graph between the scattered angle and the intensity. Okay, this is also at 50 degree angle, same. It is at 54 voltage, here also 54 voltage, but a graph drawn between potential here. Understand now? Now, this peak value of intensity, why happens? That is the most important thing in the entire topic. Okay, the appearance of the peak, at a particular direction is mainly due to the constructive interference of electrons, constraint interference of electrons from different layers of crystal. Okay, this peak value of intensity is mainly due to the, what is the reason? Constructive interference. We learn in the first year at the lesson called waves, and in second year optics we got the word of constructor interference. Constructor interference is nothing but where the intensity is maximum is called as constructor interference. If the intensity is minimum, it is called as destructive interference. Here we got maximum intensity, hence we called as constructive interference. For constructive interference, path difference between two rays should be equal to the integral multiple of the wavelength. Path difference is equal to n lambda. Okay, this is for constructive interference. In order to understand the concept, let us consider the Bragg relation, which is came in chemistry also. So I considered one atomic layers of the crystal, nickel crystal. Here this is the D. D is the separation between the atomic layers. What is D? Separation between atomic layers. Now, the scattered electrons are incident on the nickel crystal and they are scattered. Electrons are incident on the atomic crystal and they are scattered. So these are the scattered electrons. Okay, I am considering another electron. Understand now? Now draw a normal here. Okay, these are the incident rays and these are the scattered rays. Okay, now what we said, at a particular angle of phi means the angle between the incident and the scattered electrons. So total angle is phi means this angle becomes phi by 2 and this angle also phi by 2. Okay, now listen carefully. Let theta be the angle between the incident ray and the atomic layer. What is the theta? Angle between the incident ray and the atomic layer. So it is also incident ray now. So this is also make an angle called theta. Clear? Now properly see the diagram. What is the path difference between those two layers? Path difference. Path difference means draw one normal from this point. See, these two rays will be coming like this. It's similar now, but this is only the path difference. This portion is called as path difference. And here also draw one normal here. Here also draw the normal. Then these two are same now. So this portion is called as path reference. So what is the path reference according to the diagram? According to the diagram, so it is some A and this is B and this is C. Path reference is how much? BA plus AC. So what is the value of path reference? BA plus AC. So what is the value of BA? Let us see. If it is theta, it is 90. Then this value is 90 minus theta na. So let us see this triangle. In this triangle we want AB. We know separation D and it is the angle theta. 90 minus theta this is, and this is angle theta. So theta we know, we want opposite. Opposite means consider the sine theta. So what is the value of sine theta? Sine theta is equal to opposite AB by hypotenuse small d. So what is the value of AB? AB is equal to d sine theta. And similarly, if you want AC, again this is theta, this is 90, this is also angle theta. So the value of AC also we got d sine theta. So AB you got d sine theta, AC also we got the d sine theta. So d sine theta plus d sine theta is equal to 2d sine theta na. So this path reference is equal to the n lambda. This path reference is equal to n lambda means 2d sine theta is equal to n lambda. We learn it is as a Bragg's equation. 2d sine theta is equal to n lambda. Here what is d? D is the separation between the atomic layers, and theta is this one, not the phi. Keep in mind, theta is angle between the incident ray and the atomic layer. Okay, so what is the value of theta? Good. What is this angle? From here to normal, 90 now. From the diagram, theta plus phi by 2 is equal to theta plus phi by 2 is equal to 90 degree now. What is the theta we got? Theta at particular angle of 50 only we got the constructed interference. So 50 by 2 is equal to 90 degree. 50 by 2 means 25 na. So theta is 90 minus 25 degree. So theta is equal to how much? 65 degree. What is the value of theta? 65 degree with the atomic layers. So 2 into, this is nickel crystal. For nickel crystal, D value 0.91 angstroms. So D value is 0.91 angstroms. Sine theta value got 65, and for first maxima n is equal to 1 into lambda. So if you substitute the sine 65 value and multiply, then the lambda value coming is nearly 1.65 angstrom units. Okay, so at a particular angle, if you know the Bragg's equation, you can directly substitute the Bragg's equation for constructed interference. If you don't know, then we can find the value of the path reference, and this path reference is equal to n lambda for constructed interference. That value I substitute here. Clear na? So this is the value of wavelength of electron from experiment. Clear? But we know the de Broglie hypothesis. From de Broglie hypothesis, what we found? There is a formula for the wavelength of electron. Do you remember? Wavelength of electron from the de Broglie hypothesis. Value is 12.27 by root V angstroms na. Otherwise, another formula I said root over 150 by V na. The previous class only we discussed this one. Okay, here what is V? Potential difference now. At which potential we got the peak value? At V is equal to 54 volt. So substitute the value of V in this formula. then lambda E we got 1.67 angstrom units. Okay, so at a particular voltage of 54, we got the value as 1.67 angstrom. This is theoretically, and experimentally we got 1.65. Compare those two values. They are very, very nearer now. Indicates the Davison and Germer experiment, the wavelength of electron, which is nearer value of wavelength of electron from de Broglie hypothesis. So they are practically proved that electrons have the wave nature, and also they says that de Broglie concept was 100% correct. You understand? This is Davison-Germer experiment. Okay, in this experiment, at a particular angle called 50 degree and a potential 54 voltage, the galvanometer shows the maximum reading, indicates intensity is maximum. Okay, that point should be keep in mind. And this Davison and Germer experiment, they suggested that the electrons have the wave nature. Practically they found. Okay, de Broglie theoretically they said, Davison and Germer and G.P. Thomson they said electrons have the wave nature also. Clear now? And from this diagram we found the path difference value 2d sin theta. For constructor interference, this value should be equal to the n lambda. Understand now? Thank you.